Plus, there was a moment when he was totally channeling Ric Flair.
He's full Ric Flair there. Like, the wild eyes, like, he went full Flair, which is not a bad thing.
No, that was great. That's when you should go full Flair.
Less kayfabe.
MJF is going to win this thing.
More chaos.
Tony, I'm sorry that I thought that.
All elite. This is the Elite Heat Podcast. The Elite Heat Podcast with Tim and Doug.
Douglas.
Tim?
Well, I ruined my own bit. I had earlier typed in to translate on my phone that we are 25 days away from All In, and I was going to say it in Spanish, and then apparently it cleared itself. So
That's fair.
I know tenemos 25 días.
Okay.
And then I think it's para All In.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure. You know what I'm all into? Doich.
Yeah, buddy. You
Doich
finally
Foods.
got it. I
Dude,
shouldn't say
I got-
finally.
yes.
You got it like a day after me.
I got it
but-
the day after you did. And let me
Yeah.
just say, basic batch, I'm in.
Okay.
I thought maybe chocolate chip was going to be my favorite. I mean, I like them all. But basic batch is surprising me, man. I'm digging it.
So the consensus in this house between my wife and I was that birthday cake and the fudge brownie were our top two,
Understand.
which is not to say that any of them are bad. Those
Mhm.
are just our top two. I think what I'm going to have to do, because, buddy, I housed them.
That has been the hardest part waiting this whole time, is not destroying all of them.
They
And I'm
didn't.
not even kidding.
No, I totally get it. I don't think they lasted 48 hours in this house.
You were right last week about the birthday cake flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Spot on. You're right.
Yeah.
I get what you were saying about how sometimes it's tough to get that flavor correct. They nailed it.
They
Nailed it.
did.
Nailed
It's
it.
really, really good. So we're gonna have to
Mhm.
get more here, and because I want to pop them in the oven. I want to see what it tastes
Ooh.
like when you make the actual cookies.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
gonna have to order more. Oh darn! But you should see what we are talking about at doichfoods.com. That's DOICH. Doichfoods.com. Put in code Elite Heat. When you check out, you'll get 20% off, and you will enjoy some damn fine cookie dough.
Dude. I'm kind of looking forward to us being done recording so I can finish this off
get
and
it.
not embarrass myself during the show.
I get it. That last week. That's why I had the jar of the birthday cake here, and I was just
Mhm.
eyeing it the whole time. Like, are we done with this yet? Because I just want to eat more.
Dude, it's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Really,
All right.
really
So, my failed attempt at Spanish aside, let's talk about Grand Slam Mexico from Arena Mexico in Mexico City. And I informed my wife tonight that at some point I would like to go watch professional wrestling at Arena Mexico in Mexico City, because that
Dude,
looks
that would-
awesome.
That would be great. That would be so fun.
Yeah, at some point, I think we're going to try and make that happen. I don't know if it'll be specifically around AEW, because I'm totally down to go see CMLL as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But one way or another, I think someday I'm going to get there and watch me some Lucha Libre from
Heck yeah.
Arena Mexico, which will be awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But let's get into this. Well, let's just start with the heat check. I am not at all organized here because I was trying
You want
to
me to
get
go first?
a dog. Well, no, it's fine. I can do it. I was
Okay.
trying to get a dog to pee.
Well.
So anyway, the good news for Grand Slam Mexico is that I don't think there was anything tonight. Well, there's one thing that I didn't like, and I bet you can guess what it is.
Probably.
But we'll get to that. In terms of the matches, I thought all the matches were good.
Yes.
One of them is borderline mid for me, but I struggle with, was the match weak or was it just in a tough spot on the card?
I
And
understand completely, and I have the same questions.
okay, yeah, but really this is a match heavy show.
Yeah.
It felt almost pay-per-view-esque from that standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a bad thing. So really, I think we're just going to talk matches because there's really not much else. There's some recap videos. There's one promo really that was, I mean, if you know anything about me, you know I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to say I liked everything With the exception, I am going to go ahead and put Divine Dominion versus the women's trios match, Divine Dominion and Mercedes versus Willow and the Brawling Birds. I'm going to put it on the mid, but again, I'm not sure that that's their fault. We'll talk about that. And the only thing I didn't like, why did we go 3 hours?
I don't know.
Why did we do 3 hours?
I don't know. I texted you at 9:30.
Yeah.
And said, there's no way at 9:26 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way this is done at 9:30 because they were still in the second to last match.
Yeah. At 9:28 p.m. Central Time, they hadn't started the main event, and they're going, I think it was like halfway through the show that they started going, oh, it's a special 2.5 hour episode. And I'm like, okay, that's news. But at 9:28, you haven't started the main event. Well, I don't think that was only going to be 2 minutes long.
No.
So you might as well have just called it what it was. You just said it's a special 3 hour episode. At least then I would have been prepared for it.
They did say at the beginning of the show it was 2.5 hours. And so I immediately said, so you mean 3? Because that's what 2.5 hour means in AEW is it's going to be 3 hours.
Yeah. And I don't understand why they keep doing that. I don't understand why that overrun gets longer and longer every week. I know part of it is because TBS is just letting them, which to be fair, the only thing they're bumping is like a Modern Family rerun. So whatever, but
damn it. No,
dude, I like Modern Family. So you get,
but you can bump it. I'm down with it.
But so like, I get that, but I just don't understand why we keep doing it. And I was thinking about this tonight. If let's say that the Paramount Warner Brothers merger goes through, which I still think it's probably going to, even though it's being challenged in court right now. And let's say that then Paramount says, you know what, like, hey, nothing against you guys, but we're getting out. We're getting out of the wrestling business. Sort of like what happened with the AOL Time Warner merger that was a big part of what killed WCW, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so they go somewhere else. What's going to happen if they go somewhere else and that network says, okay, but you can't do the overrun. You got to be 2 hours bang on.
Right.
Do they know how to do that anymore?
They're going to have to learn pretty quick.
Yeah. So anyway, what deliver your heat check, sir?
Well, my heat check, I liked like you said, the matches. I thought basically every single one I really, really liked. I think I have one in the mid, and it's not the one that you had.
Okay.
But I thought at the very opening Cope's entrance, my God, that arena was rocking.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be the loudest pop of the night, which was crazy, but that just shows you how intense and how electric that venue is. And they were eating up AEW. They were eating up Cope, and I really liked it.
Like a month ago when I was in Mexico, I caught CMLL on TV for a little while in the hotel room, and it was like that for just whatever CMLL show it was.
Right.
Which was just a standard, like a Dynamite for them. And I was like, that was the beginning of me being like, I must go watch wrestling in this arena.
Absolutely. Yeah, that looks like an amazing venue. I also liked I think Excalibur may have the line in the night early on with commenting on Cage's move and calling it some kind of punt.
Yeah. He was pretty good tonight.
Like, oh man, that's really funny.
Yeah.
And here's one thing I liked about that match in particular was that because you did not have a brawl after the match between Cage and Cope and the Bucks.
Well, don't blow your load here. Like, we're going to talk about it.
All right, well then I like that anyway. Let's see here. What can I say? I liked here. If you know, I liked Megan Bain kicking out at 1.
Yep, that happened more than once tonight, and I was like, further proof Tony Khan listens to this show.
Yep. I thought Speedball and Fletcher was great. Okada and Fletcher stare down was solid. The promo you're talking about was amazeballs. The trios match was really, really good.
Cool. I think I know which one you put in the mid category.
And
is it Persephone and Kris Statlander?
It is.
Yeah, that one I actually forgot about. So I should put that in the mid as well. So
because I thought that one suffered more from placement than the 6-way the trios match.
I'll explain my thinking on that, but
that's in my mid. And I'll get more into it in the match. The what's in the mid for me is the reason the Birds are getting their title shot at All In.
Yeah.
That's in the mid for me.
Yep.
And also this probably should get put down into, you know what? I am moving it down to don't like, and I have something in the mid that probably should wait until we talk about the match, but it has to do with the outcome of the trios match, second to last match. So yeah.
Okay. Yep. I'm with you on all that. All right.
And did you have a dislike?
The only thing I didn't like was the length. It's tough for me because on one hand, I can't be super critical of it because I actually thought the pacing of the show was pretty good. There's a couple matches that I think went a little too long, but it wasn't egregious like it has been. You know, like when we talked about Redemption and we were going, you could have cut so much out of this show, right?
Right.
I didn't think it was egregious like that, but I don't love that they're getting into this habit of going dramatically over the 2-hour expectation for Dynamite.
Right.
Like if it's if it's going to be a 3-hour show, just make it a 3-hour show.
Right. And I understand you have to make the most of your opportunity while you're in Arena Mexico. I get it.
Yep,
I do.
I get that too.
I don't know. Then just tell us you're going to be there 3 hours, like you said.
Yeah. Just say it's a special 3-hour Dynamite. We've done it before.
Yeah.
Right? They've done it before.
But here's, I think, the difference. If they said that, you know they're going 3:15.
That's true. Yeah.
So
well, but again, that's my issue here is like when you start out going, okay, it's a 2.5-hour episode. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. But then you blow way past that, which I should have expected. But it's like it's starting to bug me. Like clearly, it's starting to bug me a lot. Of why do we keep drawing these episodes out as long as we do? And again, the pacing of the show is pretty good, but there's a couple matches where I'm like, you could have cut 5-10 minutes off that and it would have been fine. You know,
to have the final match not even start
right
at the 2.5-hour mark. They started at 9:32, I believe.
I think you're
not even
correct.
Close. I mean, you're not even pretending you're trying to get to 2.5 hours. The thing I had in my dislike was, and I moved it down from mid, was Ciampa trying to pin Andrade's pants. I don't understand that about his character. I don't know why suddenly he's doing that now.
I agree. I because it's part of a match that I loved, I didn't think about it in those terms. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think about like, oh, I'm going to isolate that out. Probably should. I think that's a good call by you to isolate that out of the match because you're right. It was bad. I have notes on it that we'll get to.
Right. I just don't. Again, I don't understand. I mean, is that the psycho part of the psycho killer? Because it doesn't mesh with my idea of psycho killer. And maybe that's a me thing, but I don't think so.
No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. So, all right. With that, let's talk about this show, which again, very match heavy. As you pointed out, we open with Cage and Cope and the Bucks versus the Death Riders. Huge pop on Cope's music, which really set a great tone, I think, for the show.
Oh, man. So good.
I have to tip the cap to Pac wearing the English World Cup kit to troll them since England knocked Mexico out of the World Cup.
So fun.
I thought that was great.
Yep.
You know, some good kind of classic heel work there.
Yeah, a little cheap heat, but it's still heat, and it was worth it.
I'm a big fan of cheap heat. I'm a fan of the cheap pop that Mick Foley gets. I'm a fan of cheap heat. Like, well done. Well done.
Yeah, that was great.
I really liked the match. It was a strong contender for me right out of the gate for match of the night. It's not my match of the night, but I liked it. And you talk about pacing, which again, I think the show did a pretty good job with. These guys were hot, man. This was nonstop. It was really good. Yeah. Really good.
They were going at it from bell to bell like you've heard before, but that it was true. They made a vague reference to Nick Jackson's head injury, and they didn't really play into it. There's only one time when they might have been referencing it when he was a little confused as to where he was in the tag. How do you think they've rebounded and and corrected their mistake with that from last week? Because I think we both agree that was a mistake to harp on that.
Yeah, I do. I think that they did they harp on it last week?
Not that they harp. By harp, I mean they really played up the fact that Nick was out of. They were really playing up the fact that he had a head and he was super confused. That
are you talking? You're talking about at Redemption, right?
I'm sorry, Redemption, not last week.
Because here's why I asked that. Yeah, because last week they didn't reference it at all. Like, commentary didn't talk about it. It didn't come up at all, and Nick was clearly fine, right? The little reference to it tonight, which I forgot about until you brought it up, I think is a better way to go about it. To me, it boils down to make a decision here, because if part of this storyline is going to be, Nick's not 100%, then make that the story, right?
Yep.
Now, again, I don't like, if you listen to the Redemption episode, I got on my soapbox of, I don't like the idea of kayfabe concussions, because to me, it's you're blurring that line too much in a real world concern, right? Like, we know, go talk to Chris Nowinski, go find him on Instagram or YouTube. Tell me if you think it's funny after you listen to him for 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I was okay with them not like. The only reference, I think Nigel said he had a head or neck injury. So I think they're shying away from the head injury, but still trying to make it. I think you're right. So probably drop it. I don't think it's probably going to be a factor moving forward, but we could be wrong. I don't know. But I was happy to see them not get too focused on.
Yeah, I actually hope that they don't make that part of the story, because the story just is plenty with Edge and Christian versus the Young Bucks. You have my attention. Like, I don't need more than that.
No, that's
you have my attention. So
bring that. That's it.
I mean, there are matches throughout the course of wrestling history where you go, well, it's this person versus this person, and I'm like, cool, that's all I need. I don't care about anything. I mean, great. Yeah. Tell me a story if you want. Great, but if you just said that's the match, like, cool, I'm in.
Yeah, kind of like Ospreay and Omega. I mean, there's story there. I don't need one.
No.
Because I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we have some story.
Absolutely.
But I feel kind of the same way with Cage and Cope and the Bucks. It's like, just throw them in there. I'll watch it.
Yeah. And I do like that they're kind of letting this simmer a little bit. It's a little bit of a slow burn between these four. I think that's a good way to do it. But yeah, I would drop the concussion angle all the way if they haven't yet. But yeah, good stuff there.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this up front. I'm skipping the recap videos because
that's I don't even talk about that. Made notes of them. So yeah.
Then the triple threat for the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet match, which was Ciampa. Pause for the eye roll. That's where he's at with me now. Komander and Andrade. My God, the pop for Andrade.
Yeah, man. That was
God.
Huge.
That's one of the bigger pops I think I've ever heard. Like,
that was
wow.
Pretty intense. That was a pretty intense pop.
Let's just talk about the Ciampa thing. I agree with you. When he attacks Andrade's pants and does the I'm going to go for the pin and all that, I wrote down, this is dumb. Don't keep doing it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
You're supposed to be portraying the psycho killer. That's the character you wanted to portray. Is this really part of it? That's not what I imagine when I hear psycho for psycho killer.
No,
that is the goofball killer or whatever.
Yes.
I don't get it. Nope.
It doesn't make any sense. And I agree with you. So my sort of word vomity thoughts here are, first of all, kudos to commentary for calling it out and going, this is an unforced error. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Let's not ever do it again. Yep. But I'm with you, because I had the same thought of, like, if this is your idea of a psycho killer, you're not. What you are now is you're a comedy act. But prior to that, I meant to tell you, I actually watched Collision. And if you go back to Collision, where he basically inserts himself into this match, he's doing the super intense stare at the camera, I'm coming for the big belt, blah, blah, blah. And then, he does the thing at the end that he likes to do where he stands up and he slaps the chair away, right? Well, that's not a comedy act.
No.
So what are you? Like we were saying with let's pick a lane on if Nick Jackson is concussed or not, let's pick a lane on this guy. Is he a comedy act or is he somebody that I'm supposed to take seriously? Because right now, I don't.
Right. No, I don't. And the thing that bugs me is that this bit is kind of based on an unhinged Ric Flair bit from when he was not really that fun to watch.
I remember
late stage WCW.
Yep.
He was just out of his nut.
Yep.
Desperate for attention, and he strips down and, elbows his own clothing.
I
that's
remember
all I think of when I see that, and I'm like, it wasn't good the first time. Please stop.
Yeah, I remember watching that episode of Nitro and going, what is happening? Like, I remember watching that and going, is Rick okay?
Yeah, no, I don't think he was.
I don't think he was either. When you're in the same sentence as that's not good, my man.
No.
It's not good. I don't know if the live crowd reaction when he did that at Redemption was better than we perceived it to be on the broadcast, and that's why he did it again.
Maybe.
Or if he thinks he's just going to get it over. Or if he's just trying to pop the boys in the back because somebody in the back thinks it's funny. Are you out here trying to pop the boys in the back? Because that's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise this is fucking dumb. Stop.
This is so disappointing when you have Ciampa come in and win a belt on his first night, lose it in this next week, and now he's trying to pin pants in a stuffed animal. Nope. You've taken someone who should be over like crazy right now from either as a heel or a face, and he's just wandering around in this middle lane of what the fuckery, and I don't get it.
Yeah. And here's the bummer to me on top of all of that. Like, this is the bummer cherry on the bummer sundae. This is a banger of a match.
I love this match.
This is a banger of a match. And if you ignore his dumbassery in the middle of it, like if you just went in and recut the match and just edit that out, we're probably sitting here going, this is 5-star match. I'm probably sitting here going match of the night. We're talking about maybe a match of the year contender. Here's the other aspect of it. I think you could actually remove him from it and just have it been Andrade and Komander.
Of course.
And I would say match of the year contender. It was a banger, and Andrade was a massive part of that.
Yeah. Even with the dumb fuckery, it was still a match of the night contender for me.
Me too. Even with all that. So, and that's the bummer of it, because to me, what holds it out of being the match of the night is the dumbassery of, I'm going to fight pants.
Yeah. What? I mean, that's a thing I would do. You don't do that.
Well, like, if Danhausen did it, I'd go, yeah, okay. But
again, that's like an Orange Cassidy vibe.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be that. I don't think.
But again, that's what we're talking about here is what are you? It just doesn't make any sense. And they got to stop. Like, if they're going to try to actually make Ciampa a legitimate threat, they got to stop that stuff. Or lean all the way into make him a comedy act. I don't think it's going to be terribly funny, but lean all the way into it. So at least then I know when he comes on screen, I don't really have to pay that much attention because he's going to do something dumb.
Or if you're going to be doing that type of thing, don't lean in from the comedy edge, lean into he's just unhinged edge and have him, but then you could be a more violent, weird Leo Rush type character. But that would play better than whatever this is. So
with this, if you're calling yourself Psycho, it's the killer part of it. If you're telling yourself Psycho Killer, but you're not being unhinged in the way of like Moxley is more of a Psycho Killer, because this is a man who again has multiple attempted murders on his rap sheet.
Yes, Ciampa should change his name to Psycho Annoyer.
Well, honestly, what he should do is he should just dress up like a clown and start calling himself Doink at this point. Because
that deserves some Doich.
It does, but also it'd be more entertaining than whatever he's doing right now because it's weird and it doesn't make sense.
This Doich is more entertaining, I can tell you that.
Yeah, because it's delicious, and I'm bummed that I housed it all as fast as I did.
Let's get to what was really important.
Yes.
Which is what happened afterwards.
MJF is back, baby.
Were you surprised by this? Because I certainly was.
I was legitimately surprised by it. I thought it was going to be at All In. I thought...
Yeah, same.
I thought he's going to come out after the main event, and he's going to insert himself into the title picture that way. What did you think about his... I'm going to say think about his promo. Now, let's put it in context of it's MJF. The promo's good.
Yes.
But what did you think about kind of the angle he's working here of like he's the real champion?
I thought that was weird and interesting. And I don't think that, of all of that, I don't think that part is necessary.
I agree.
But if anyone could pull it off, he can.
I also agree.
It's interesting because it's a bit of I mean, I get why he's saying it, but the logic is a little flimsy, but that's fine. If anyone has the ego to do that, he does. I really liked the approach of him saying, fine, I'm going to be the second person in that gauntlet match. I'm going to beat the daylights out of Andrade, and then I'm going to take on whoever's got the belt.
Yeah. That could have been...
I thought that was really good.
I agree. I in my mind, I went, if that had really been the heart of the promo, like if that had been really the whole promo, straight fire. Now, I'm with you. I don't think he needed to do the unhinged, I'm the real champion, bringing out his, Triple B version of the belt and all that. With that said, I agree with you at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
But then I pretty quickly went, yeah, but it's MJF. If anybody's going to make it work, it's going to be him. So, all right, let's buckle in and go for the ride. All right, let's do it,
Plus, there was a moment when he was totally channeling Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah.
Totally channeling Ric Flair. That was my spot.
Yes. He went full Flair there, and then if you really watch him, like you can't really hear what he's saying, but when security has to carry him out because he's getting into it with fans because he left through the crowd, he's full Ric Flair there. Like the wild eyes, like he went full Flair, which is not a bad thing.
No, that was great. That's when you should go full Flair.
Yes.
Not the way Ciampa chose to.
Right.
The way MJF chose to.
And it was that version of Flair.
Yeah. Yes. Because that's MJF. And because he knows how to play the crowd. He knows how to get under people's skin. He knows bringing out his belt will annoy people.
Yep.
Which is probably the only reason he did it. Is to annoy people, because he knows that everyone loves Kenny Omega, or a lot of people do. And they think I'm sure he knows or thinks that a lot of people think Kenny should be the champ, not him. So I'm going to bring out my cooler belt and call yours a toy, and screw you. I'm the champ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure that, it's the same thing with Ospreay of, oh, he's the anointed one. He's the champion. No, he's not. I am. Then we got that triple threat match I mentioned earlier of Divine Dominion and Mercedes versus Willow and the Brawling Birds. The reason that I said I think it suffers from placement on the card is look what it followed.
Exactly.
It followed a really strong opener, and then it follows just a banger of a triple threat match, and then it's there. And look, somebody had to follow it. I get that.
Yep.
But I personally, this is why I put it in the mid. I found myself not paying a lot of attention to it.
I understand that.
And that could be, again, just I needed a minute after those two matches. It's entirely possible that that's what happened there. It's also, I think, probably quite likely that part of why I wasn't paying attention is what you alluded to of there's a story issue here.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I liked this match. I put it in my like category. I thought the match was good. I thought I'm still a little perturbed by how Divine Dominion is being portrayed, although they were portrayed as stronger in this match. So that's good. A few things that I was questioning is, A, I thought the match was solid, but giving Willow the clean pin over Mercedes in the middle of the ring, I thought was interesting, and I'm okay with it. But I thought it was interesting.
Yep, I did too.
But what made me, and this is the part that I have in the mid, is now the Birds and Divine Dominion are official for All In. And the reason they say is because this is Divine Dominion's first loss since becoming a team. And that's why the Birds get the shot. But Willow pinned Mercedes. The Birds are on her team. Divine Dominion didn't get pinned, so the Birds get them at All In. I mean, in theory, that kind of makes sense, but it really, it breaks my brain a little bit.
No, I agree with you, and I caught that too. My thought is that, next week or on Collision or whatever, the promo is going to be Divine Dominion. It should be, I think, Divine Dominion going, well, but you didn't beat us. So you don't deserve the shot. You didn't beat us. And that is probably going to be the story heading forward of you're getting this title shot, but you don't deserve it.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
I think that would be the way to go, personally.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's probably the strongest angle that they can take right now, especially after that weak-ass start of that Brawling Birds promo of, oh, well, you just talk a lot. No, you talk a lot. They actually wrestle. So, I think that as this quote-unquote story goes, that's probably the best angle for it. This is one of those that I think we're all just going to have to accept. It's not going to be a great storyline headed into All In. And let's just accept it for what it is. It's a way to get the Brawling Birds on the card. Mm-hmm. I think there's a better than average chance they're going to win because they're the hometown girls.
Yep.
Prepare yourself for all that. And you know what? That might not even be a bad thing because I think there might be. I think it might be more compelling to have Divine Dominion chase, because if they get like really angry and start beating the mess out of people, could be interesting.
My fear is that, don't get me wrong, I think the Birds deserve a title run. I don't think they need it right now. I think they should, but if they give it to them now, it's because they haven't done, in my opinion, they haven't done a good enough job of really showing us and showcasing Divine Dominion.
I agree.
But my fear is if you put it on the Birds, too often I find, at least in AEW sometimes, after the dominant champion loses, especially in the women's division, they kind of go away.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that. I would much prefer, like you said, show Divine Dominion to be what they were, which was just badass, beating the tar out of each other. And as soon as they got the titles, you didn't see them on Dynamite anymore. They were on Collision, which is fine.
Yeah.
But at least show some highlights on Dynamite to show how bad they are, how great they are, or how dominant they are.
Yeah, I agree. If they do the thing that they so often do in AEW where champion loses and gets shuffled to the back of the deck, that's a problem. But if you create, again, a story of Divine Dominion chasing,
then I'm on board. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in for
that. So then Speedball Mike Bailey took on Kyle Fletcher for the international title. I am making this my match of the night.
Same. I'm in.
They beat the hell out of each other.
First note I took was, damn, Speedball getting speared into the barrier.
So he gets speared in the barrier. And then I don't know if this was a receipt for that or if it was just, this is just how these two dudes work tonight. I think it was just how they worked tonight. When Fletcher's sitting on the turnbuckle and Speedball kicked him, he kicked him. Like, he kicked that man hard in the mouth.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, and there was the power bomb onto the ring apron looked horrible, like just looked brutal.
Mm-hmm.
There were one of the brain busters. I thought, oh my God, he killed him. Like, I thought Fletcher killed him. There were multiple points where I thought they killed each other. So
the dive down the stairs was bonkers.
Yeah, they beat the absolute hell out of each other. And kudos to them. It was really good. Really good.
I wrote down that I think Fletcher is looking great, and he's getting to that point where he looked before he got injured, and he had all this momentum going forward, and he looked unbeatable. He's looking almost at that point again. He looked great, and I thought Speedball looked amazing tonight. I thought Speedball, again, maybe looked more credible tonight than he's looked ever, and he's looked pretty credible in the past several matches. So, again, hats off. They beat the tar out of each other.
They did.
And they made it great. I thought this was without a doubt my match of the night. And I think Fletcher's final turnbuckle brainbuster was probably the best looking one he's done yet, because I think it came off perfectly. There wasn't any slop. There wasn't any, misadjustment. There wasn't any weird fall. It looked the way I think it should look, and it looked great. So
yep.
I like this match a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Tremendous work. I'd like to see more out of them. I don't know if we're going to get it anytime soon, but I would definitely watch more of them because, wow, they were good.
Yeah, that was a great match.
I was a little surprised Kevin Knight didn't get involved somewhere in there because I really thought they were going to restart that beef, but I think we know why.
Yeah.
Because next was Okada, Hechicero, and Kevin Knight taking on Místico, Darby Allin, and Jericho. I have many thoughts about just the entrances for this match.
Yeah.
First one being, I liked Místico's half and half mask, where it was like half Darby, and then his normal one. Second, hearing his music reminded me, like a month ago, again, when we were in Mexico. I think you'll get a kick out of this. So we're sitting in one of the lobby bars, just killing time before dinner. And they had this huge wall of just monitors that just basically makes one giant TV, right? And they would play music videos on it.
Right.
And so we're sitting there just having a drink and, I don't know, talking to my wife about something. And all of a sudden I stop and I go, wait a minute. I know this song. And my wife is like, a Mexican song. I'm like, yeah. This is Místico's entrance music. And she's like, oh, hilarious. God, of course it's a wrestling thing.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
But yeah, so it's like a legit song. I didn't know that. I learned. Yeah. I guess that explains why everybody knows the words so well. I learned. But anyway.
I liked the fact that Okada came out early to squash Fletcher's celebration.
That too. Yep.
I like that stare down, like I said earlier.
Yep, I agree. What did you think when they introduced Jericho as El Corazón de León, which is Lionheart in Spanish? That one I knew without Excalibur telling us. And then he came out in his old CMLL gear, basically.
I don't know what he's doing anymore. And we have talked multiple times about the fact that he came back to AEW because the other guys wanted him to do kind of a retirement tour, and he's pulling out best ofs, man. My God, this is from early in his career.
Yeah.
And okay, I get it. You pander to the crowd, you get your cheap pop. That's fine. But putting him in with Darby and Místico was so weird, and I didn't understand it. And then I wrote down, you know what? They pair up nicely. You got Jericho and Okada. That's fine. You've got Darby and Kevin Knight, and you've got Místico and Hechicero. Fine. That's fine. But still, that is such an odd trio. It made it tough for me to go, what? I didn't get Jericho's involvement in it, but whatever.
Yeah. I agree. It was an excuse to get him on the card there and let him do that. If this had been a one-off thing, right, of, he's back in Mexico, he's in Arena Mexico, he's going to throw back to the CMLL days, I'd have been like, oh, that's fun. But when you put it in context of his first promo back after the long layoff, he references the list, right? He does the, you make the list, right? The Painmaker. There were some other references that I think I'm forgetting to, the glory days, if you will. And then now he does this. When you put all that in context, my thought tonight was, I am, as of this moment, more convinced than I have been to this point that this is the retirement tour. And I am now thinking, come Double or Nothing 2027. Because remember, Double or Nothing's the one that starts it all, right?
Right.
That's the first AEW show. I'd like to point out again, we were there.
Yes, we were.
I think that there's a very real chance that there is a Jericho retirement match on that card. That they're going to build some sort of story where if he loses, he's done. And that's going to bookend, the AEW run. I think there's a very real chance of that. I may be way wrong, but it feels like that's where the breadcrumbs are going.
It is hard not to think that because of what we're seeing. It really is. And here's what else I found really odd about this night is that after they win, you've got Místico, who was clearly the fan favorite. They were eating up everybody, but Místico was the guy. While Místico was getting his roses from the crowd, Jericho's in there trying to get them to. He just looked like he was ham hocking it up.
Yeah, he was like blowing kisses and stuff. Yeah,
it looked weird. It felt weird to me, and maybe I'm misreading the whole situation, and maybe everyone was cool with it, but it just, and here's the thing, I don't want to feel like I'm just bashing this match and Jericho. I'm not. I just am confused by it, and I'm a little confused by his conduct, and I felt like, I get it. You haven't been to Arena Mexico in ages. You're back. It's great for you. Damn, dude, it's Místico. Let him have his thing. Just wave and get off the stage,
Yeah. Look, I don't think there's a bigger star, particularly in that arena, than Místico. I mean,
not right now. No.
Yeah, it's a good match. It's a very good match. I think the biggest thing that it served to do here was remind us that Kevin Knight and Darby Allin have beef. Because I'll be honest with you, I forgot that they have beef, and that's kind of the one problem with them taking Kevin Knight and putting him in that title match with Omega at Redemption is kind of forgot about that.
Right.
Now, I think they did a fine job of reminding you of it tonight and letting that restart, and silly me for not remembering that and going, oh, well, that's clearly going to be the all-in match is Darby and Kevin Knight for the TNT title. That makes sense. So from that standpoint, it did what it's supposed to do. Again, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a little weird. But I mean, I've seen weirder.
Yeah, but in spite of all that, the match was good. Darby gets a clean pin over Kevin Knight, which was a little surprising. But it leans into the fact that this is the story beat we get out of it. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. That was good.
Yeah.
Then it was Kris Statlander and Persephone, which after you talked about, I was like, oh yeah, that should have been in my mid as well. I'm curious if you picked up on this too. I thought the crowd was shockingly quiet for this match.
I thought Persephone was going to get a bigger pop.
I did too.
She got decent pop, but I think, she's the heel in this, and I think she's a heel in CMLL as well. So it makes a little bit of sense. But I think, again, this is where we run into these long shows.
Yeah.
This is the match I thought suffered from placement just because it was so far down in the card. And after you only have 2 more matches left, so they're going to be bangers, and they put them here, and I think that's a tough situation. And I felt like this had a bit of a slow start. I think there was some clunkiness going on at the beginning. I think they smoothed stuff out as it went on, but that didn't help. Having this giant pop for Místico before, during, and after the match before them didn't help their momentum. And what I thought was weird was the biggest story was that Thunder Rosa was on the outside. And the biggest story of this match didn't have much to do with the match.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the Thunder Rosa involvement in it was clunky. I thought it didn't make a lot of sense here, in my opinion. And then also when, I think this might have more been a production issue than anything, but when Persephone hit her with the belt, like, it took too long, and you could clearly see from the angle that Thunder Rosa is just standing there waiting, and she's looking over her shoulder for it. And part of that, I think, also is Thunder Rosa. I like Thunder Rosa, but there are too many times with her where I have seen her do something like that, where it's like, you got to be a little bit, you got to remember this is theater. You know what I mean? Like, there's a few too many times where it's like, I see you're pulling the curtain back too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, that might have been more a production issue if they should have been on a different camera angle, but I don't know. But
Right.
I thought that was weird. I think I caught this at the very beginning when Persephone and Statlander traded the arm drags at the very beginning of the match. I think that they expected Persephone's going to arm drag Statlander and she's going to get booed, and then Stat's going to hit the same move and Statlander's going to get cheered. And when that didn't happen, when there was no reaction, you can actually see Statlander does a double take. She looks back into the crowd like, oh, and I think that threw her.
It's possible because she did make more than one reference to the fact that they were booing her or they weren't doing much.
Yeah.
Like when she was outside, she was like doing this, hey, now are you going to say something?
Yeah. I think it threw her off a little bit. And I think that she at one point thought, well, maybe we need to, for this match, switch it up, right? When they weren't getting a pop, it was, and when Statlander's getting booed, it was like, well, maybe I should start trying to work a little more heel, but Persephone is a heel in CMLL. You're not turning her. I think for the first quarter of that match, give or take, they were struggling to figure out how to work this thing based off of what the crowd was giving them. And I think at some point they just said, screw it, let's just do the match we were going to do and let it ride. And I think that was the right call. But it's just a weird match.
Yeah. And like I said, and I think that's the clunkiness I was seeing and sensing at the beginning. I think it ended up okay.
Yeah.
The best part about this is I do like the pairing of Stat and Rosa against Persephone and Sheeta. I think that could be interesting. I think that could be fine. I felt this match went a little long to get us there. But,
I agree. This is one they could have cut some time off of. Yeah,
absolutely they could have. It's too bad because I like everybody involved in this, and I don't think we're seeing the best of them or them being presented in the best way yet. Maybe now that we've really established the lines of Statlander and Rosa going up against Sheeta and Persephone, maybe now we'll get some cleaner matches and we'll get some cleaner storyline and it will be a little more efficient. And I'm hoping we get to see better sides of all of them because I think they all deserve it. I think they clearly have it in them. And I just think they need a better opportunity to show it. And this wasn't it for them.
I agree. I really like Persephone. And if you can find, like on, myaew.com or something, if you can find CMLL, she was trying to do it tonight, especially because she was in her home arena and stuff. And I don't know why it didn't get over tonight the way it does in CMLL, but like, man, what I have seen of that, she's over. Like, she's absolutely over as the heel she's supposed to be. I want more of that because I think she's very good. I want more of that. I don't know why they're struggling to find that so far, but yeah, hopefully you're right that with some cleaner lines here, maybe we get some better work going forward. I don't know, but I hope so.
Hopefully.
Then the trios title match, Brodido and Hangman versus The Demand. I think you and I agree on this, which is, I thought, a pretty good match.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid match. Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty good match. I don't like the switch.
No, I don't either.
I do not care for them putting the belts on Hangman and Brodido.
I put that in my mid, and it maybe should have went down to my dislike because I understand to a certain extent. You've got your guy Bandito, who's pretty over.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to put the belts on him.
I agree.
You just don't. And I think it's a mistake to take him off the Demand so soon.
I agree. I think the Demand should have had a much longer run with them. I think that I get it that, look, everybody loves Brodido. I love Brodido. Everybody loves Brodido. I would rather see you put them back in the tag title contention instead of going, we're going to slap the trios belts on you and Hangman.
It felt like it was being slapped on them. Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. It felt to me like, okay, we know people like Brodido. We know people like Hangman. We want to remind people that Hangman is a big deal here, so let's slap a belt on him. That's not it. And I didn't like the pairing of Brodido and Hangman anyway. I think it's flimsy at best.
Yeah.
And So, and the thing that bums me out, I think the most about it is when you go back to that promo that Hangman cut when he came back, where he rattled off every title, basically. I think Hangman works better as a singles competitor than he does in teams. And that's not to take away from the team stuff he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like him better as a loner. I think it makes more sense for the character. I think he's a bit better that way. Why is he not in the Continental Cup? Why is he not going after the international title since he's got beef with, basically every heel? Why is he not going after the TNT championship, which I still think made a lot of sense because as he referenced in that promo, Kevin Knight's, to use his words, Kevin Knight's being a dipshit right now, Well, maybe go set him straight. I don't like this. And I can't believe I'm saying that because I love Hangman, but I don't like this.
When he rattled off all those titles, did he say the Trios Championship?
I think he did.
Did he?
Because I thought he hit every single title, but I could be wrong. Maybe he only did the singles. I'd have to go back and watch it.
I thought he just referenced all the singles titles. Well, he could have done that for 8 minutes and not repeated any because there's a lot.
Yeah.
But this, again, this didn't feel like it made sense. I'm not a fan of them switching the titles. I thought the demand looked, my God, Toa Leona. Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
He didn't just take a step. He walked them to the middle of the ring.
Yes. That's a lot of beef.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
A lot of beef on his back.
Some people can't even get Brody King up by themselves.
Right.
And he had all three of them on his back, and he looked great doing it. So
yeah,
it's too bad. I thought the demand looked really good tonight. I thought they should have kept the belts.
I agree. I think this was a mistake. We'll see what they do next week and it all in. I just don't like it. I think hot-shotting the trios belts doesn't help them at all.
No.
And the trios belts are pretty pointless generally in AEW right now.
That's why I liked having the demand with the belts, because I thought if any team could get them on TV more, it'd be the demand. Because Brodido and Hangman are such a slap-together team, kind of like when it was Jet Set Donkey Ride or whatever it was.
Yes.
That you knew that wasn't going to last. You knew that wasn't going to happen much, and it didn't. And I feel the same way with this. It's like, yay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they did it for the image you got at the end with Brodido with Bandito in the middle and Brody and Hangman on the sides holding up the trios titles. I think they did it for that image. It's a great image, but that's not enough to change the titles for. In my humble opinion, I just don't think it is. But
no, I agree with you. I don't think it made a lot of sense. And so now you have to make a decision. If you're Tony Khan, do you keep the trios belts on these guys and try to make something out of it and give them an extended run with it? Or are you going to switch it back and then get Hangman back on track of whatever his story is going to be? Because allegedly there have been multiple reports that no, they're not going to leave the never challenge for the world title stipulation on him. They're going to get that off him somehow.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is that they're going to switch it back. They might let them hang on to it through, I mean, it's 25 days to All In, so they might let them hold it for the 25 days and then drop it back to the demand. But you're hot-shotting those belts, and I don't think that it is doing anything to help them. I don't love this, man. I don't love it. And again, like we have talked about, you have enough legitimate factions, enough established factions, build some, faction warfare there of everybody chasing those trios titles. I don't know why we're not doing it.
I don't either. I don't either. Don Callis, where you at?
Yeah. Bang Bang Gang, where are you at?
Yep.
I just and again, they did the thing that I don't like of the champions lose and just go, oh, well, okay, on to the next thing. Really? The conglomeration, you guys don't want to get those belts back? Really? You're just like, nope, well, okay.
Right. Death Riders, where you at? You don't want trios belts?
Yeah. It doesn't, I don't care for it.
I mean, it could be Yuta's only chance to hold a belt in AEW. Let it happen.
Exactly.
Let it happen.
Boy, when you put it like that, though, I'm less on board with it.
Whatever.
Then the Mexico City street fight with Ospreay and Davis.
Yep.
Again, two dudes who beat the absolute hell out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a good match. I mean,
I did too. I liked the match. I thought it was fine. I didn't like the fact that it started 2 minutes after the show was supposed to be over, but I liked the match. I think it's a questionable call to put Ospreay in that type of match 25 days before All In, because it was so violent and there's so many chances for him to legit get hurt. I don't care how good of friends you are with this guy and how well you work together. There were a lot of spots on there that things could have gone wrong due to no one's fault. And it's just, I just questioned that thought process. I liked having them both on the match. I thought or on the card, I thought the match was good, but I don't know. It just had me a little concerned.
No, I get that. And you and I know, and any wrestling fan knows, that accidents happen in the ring where nobody was trying to hurt anybody else and something went wrong. Somebody slips, whatever it is. Things happen. Now you can make the argument of, if they had put him in just a straight ahead standard one fall match, those same accidents could have happened, right?
Absolutely.
So anytime you get in the ring, it's a risk. So that's me being devil's advocate here to what you're saying. With that said, I didn't understand. I mean, like I said, I watched Collision where they turned this into the street fight. I didn't understand why you made it a street fight.
I still don't understand that.
Yeah, and it didn't there was really no justification for it. It's just Ospreay going, well, let's just make it a street fight. The only thing I can think is they're trying to tell you the story of, again, this is a different Will Ospreay. This is a guy who is willing to go there, right? And the main reason I think that is the end of that match is very interesting to me, because if you watch it, the referee calls the doctor into the ring to check on Mark Davis. And at first, I'm thinking, oh, okay, so the story's going to be, look at that, the whole thing of, you got to pull the trigger no matter who's across from you. Well, he just did it.
Yep.
Right? And that's what I'm thinking of. Oh, man, he hurt his friend. But they never referenced it. And they didn't show the doctor working on him. You only see it in these wide shots. So now I got to ask, did Mark Davis get hurt there?
Possibly. I mean, the closest they came is when he's throwing those bows on top of him, and they reference, he's using that ruthlessness he learned from the Death Riders. And that's the one reference it gets. He gets the pin. What surprised me was we had the Death Riders on earlier in the match, and I even wrote down in my notes that I thought Excalibur was setting us up for the future by saying, the Death Riders said, leaving the Death Riders wasn't so easy, Will Ospreay. So I thought for sure at the end of that match, Death Riders come out, beat tar out of Ospreay. I thought for sure we were going to get that. And then we didn't.
I thought that too. So, but again, you go to the end of the match. So the first part of me questioning, is that whole thing with Mark Davis. But then if you watch Ospreay and they do close-ups of him, he looks back and sees this going on, and then he turns and he looks at the hard camera and he does the gun, right? As in, I interpreted that as, I pulled the trigger.
Right.
Kenny, you're next, right?
Yep.
So maybe that's all the storyline. Right now, I'm going to say it is all a work for the storyline, and that's fine. Again, could you have accomplished it without the street fight and put them in slightly less danger 25 days away from your biggest show? Yeah, you probably could have.
Yeah, because you could have had Ospreay finish the same way by just raining down elbows viciously, and then is this the first hidden blade he's done to the front? Because I thought he almost always did them to the back of the head, because he did it to his face.
Yeah, he usually does it to the back, but I want to say he's done it a handful of times since he joined the Death Riders, that he's done it. I think that was part of the combo finish with Moxley, is he hit it from the front.
Okay, yeah, that's possible. Yeah,
now, I may be wrong, but I think so.
But I think those tweaks tell you right there he's still keeping some of that Death Rider training. And I think that's fine. But again, I was just shocked we didn't see the Death Riders at the end of this.
I agree.
I thought for sure, okay, we're starting this bitch late. Yeah. We're going to end on either a promo instead of a match.
Yeah.
Or we're going to get a run in and then a promo. I thought for sure we weren't just going to end with a match. I just did. And pleasantly surprised, we just ended with a clean match, a clean finish, and got out. But
Yeah, I mean, I thought Death Riders were going to get involved, or I thought Omega is going to get involved. I was surprised we didn't see him at all tonight.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know. Like, this is a good show. I think this is a very good show. A lot of really good matches in there. I think they got some storytelling done. I think there's also some confusing things on here. The good news, though, is they got 25 days to clean it up, and we'll see where they go.
I mean, this was not the most story-heavy episode we've seen in a while, even though it was 3 hours. Still, really solid. It felt very pay-per-view-ish. I thought the match quality was very pay-per-view quality. A couple too long, but that's going to happen. You can't have everyone be in the best position, and you just have to make the best of what you got. And I think they did. Overall, I know I've bitched and moaned a lot about this show tonight. I really liked the show. It's just that the things that have gone wrong, I really wasn't a fan of.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, like, I think it's a good show. I do think, like I said, I think they got some good story beats in there. I think, they did a nice job with reminding you of the Fletcher Okada beef. And I think, certainly that's where we're headed for All In. They make the match official for the women's tag championships. Storyline be damned. At least, you add to the card, right? You advance the Ospreay story. You advance the tag team championship story tonight. So they did, again, reminded you of Kevin Knight and Darby Allin have beef, and we're, I think, getting the ball rolling towards those two at All In. So they did a lot of good stuff here. The stuff with Andrade was great. The MJF stuff was great.
Yep.
They did a lot of really good stuff here, but you're right. When they made a misstep tonight, and there were several of them, it was glaring. The Ciampa stuff is bad.
Yep.
The trios title stuff is questionable at best. Those two, to me, are the ones that really jump out as being really questionable, of like, I'm not at all sure why you did that.
Yeah. There's enough things that made me go, but all in all, really good show. Very happy with the storytelling that was done, because you're right. It did at least progress the right stories in the right direction. Didn't confuse too many things. So I liked it. And it's sad for me to say, I think they need to take Ciampa off TV for a minute and really rethink how he's going to be portrayed, and really rethink that psycho killer character, and give him someone else to aim for other than, Jericho, because that didn't do anything for either one of them. And him being in that 3-way didn't do anything for him.
No. Put him in the Casino Gauntlet match. He's going to be in it, right? We know it.
Yep.
He's going to be in it. Let him then come out at All In and really wreck people.
Yeah.
Like, really wreck people. You can spin a storyline out of that that's going to do more for him and whomever he ends up, working with, and just let that be the thing you do with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
and possibly some of the best news I've seen all night. Eddie Kingston going to be on TV, baby.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was going to say, so, make your picks now. I will say, the Continental Cup confuses me a little bit. I'm just not really sure why we're doing it, since we know they're going to do the Continental Classic then in like a couple months. But that said, if you're going to put Eddie Kingston on TV, we get a Matt Sydal sighting for the first time in forever. Like, if this is how you're going to take these people that you're like, we either haven't used them for a while or we're not sure what to do with them right now, like a Jack Perry, and this is how you're going to put them on TV, fine. I'm fine. That's okay. I don't need to fully understand this Continental Cup. I don't care. Give me Eddie Kingston. Please. I want Eddie to win it. I don't think he's gonna, but man, I want him to.
I want him to win it. I'm confused as to why Moxley is in the first round. I don't understand.
Well, so they talk about it on Collision. I don't think they did a great job of explaining it on Collision.
Great.
But which tells me they're building the airplane in the air. But
yeah.
The matches are picked at random. Everybody's going to compete. And then basically, like, the way they said it, and this doesn't necessarily make sense, but the way they said it was, so you have your match and then you go back in the hat and we're going to randomly pair you up again. But that doesn't really make sense, because then they compared it to the FA Cup that European soccer does. It's based off of that. So you're going to have like your round of 16. And then I think what's going to happen is then from there, they're going to go to a knockout round. And then from there, that's when you're going to start paring it down. But I think this first round, this round of 16, I think is going to be everybody going to fight everybody over these next couple of weeks. So think again of the Continental Classic of how you're going to get paired up with everybody.
Okay.
And then they'll start knocking people out of it, I think. But don't quote me on that because, again, I don't think they have fully fleshed it out, or at least they don't know how to explain it on TV yet. So, and I thought they should have cleaned it up tonight, and they didn't. So
no. They just gave us a bunch of matches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
So maybe next week when they start or does it start on Collision?
I think it starts on Collision Saturday. Yeah.
So maybe they'll start cleaning it up there. They'll have graphics and stuff. I hope, but I don't know.
Well, considering Moxley is the one who introduced us to the concept by saying he heard Gruber backstage before anyone had mentioned it. Not surprising this is happening as it's happening live.
One cool thing about this, if you didn't watch Collision, though, Nigel McGuinness is going to compete in it.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Nigel's in the field, and I think that's super fun. So
yeah. He's laced him up a few times in ROH, and I think
he can still go. He was on All In the last time they were in London. He can still go.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's make it happen.
Hype him up, let him call his own match. That'd be great.
There you go. Again, I don't, the Continental Cup as it stands right now is confusing. But again, Eddie Kingston, Nigel McGuinness, it's got Jack Perry, something to do. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Bring it. I'm down.
Yep.
If we get to see weird, this is what it makes sense to give us matchups that you don't need any story. Just throw them together and maybe build some story around it. That's great. Love it.
Yep. So anyway, like I said, hopefully they'll start cleaning that up on Collision, and certainly I hope they clean it up on the next Dynamite. And look, again, on this road to All In, I think there's a lot of really interesting stuff happening. I think the Omega Ospreay Death Rider stuff remains very interesting. You have the X factor of MJF now, which can only be a good thing. So yeah, man, let's do this. Like, I am excited for All In. And if nothing else, if they keep us feeling that way, if they keep us going, you've got me excited for All In, then they're doing their job. If nothing else, then they're doing their job. So
yeah. And even though I didn't like the way they put them together, I'm happy we're going to see Divine Dominion take on the Birds. I'm happy about it. Yeah, I'm disappointed in how it happened, but I'm super happy it's going to be on the card. And hey, you got them there. I'm not going to bitch too much.
Yep. There's a lot of interesting stuff floating out there because if you didn't watch Collision, Motor City Machine Guns made their appearance.
Was so happy to see that. I was so happy to hear that.
I was too. I'm very excited for them. So what are they going to do? You have various other wild cards sitting out there of folks that got released whose non-competes are now up. And then, of course, there's the shot that I called that I still think is going to happen. I think New Day appears. I think the Bucks are going to win, and the New Day is going to come out, and we're going to get the Young Bucks and the New Day or whatever they end up calling themselves, for the AEW Tag Team Championships at whatever the next pay-per-view is. There's a lot to look forward to, is what I'm driving at here.
I'm okay if that happens. I am on board with that. Bring it, lock it in, make it happen. But yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to All In. I think it's been a little bit rocky getting there, but I think it's shaping up, and I am still excited about it. There's still plenty of things going on that's making me go, yeah, okay.
And the gauntlet match is very intriguing to me because that's a great spot to debut people, bring people back, whatever. And like I said, there's some names out there that I think may make appearances or whatever. So, yeah. All right. So on that note, we will be back here next week to talk about the next Dynamite, and we'll see what they do to, again, clean some of this stuff up. In the meantime, get yourself some cookie dough. I got to go order more because I'm fiending. Oh, man, and then you show me the fudge brownie, which is...
I know, man.
Son of a bitch. All right, so go to DoichFoods.com, DOICH, DoichFoods.com. Use code EliteHeat when you check out. You'll get 20% off your order, and you will make your tum-tum happy. And
so chocolatey. So chocolate.
So good. And then also follow us, like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Share us with your friends if you haven't already. Invite them to the Pants Off Dance Off that we're doing here.
Yes, indeed.
I know you can't see us from the waist down, but trust me, there are no pants to be found in these parts.
Nope. I mean, we're like Andrade midway through a match. Pants are down.
In fact, here's how you know. Ciampa actually just came in and tried to pin my pants.
He gave mine a backbreaker.